Hi, welcome to Weyler Nation. My name is Michael Fagan. It's Wednesday. I'm joined by Josh Ziegler from Georgia. Today we have a special guest, Jessica Weyler.
Weyler.
Weyler. So we got a lot of attention. I posted something on Jessica's page yesterday. It is the New Jersey Food and Beverage Workers page, and her hashtag, Don't 86 Our Industry. So Jessica works in Atlantic City as a server and got tired of all this being closed down, and she decided to do something, which takes a lot of guts. And she started this page and got 1,000 members in like 24 hours. Jessica, I got tons of people like texting me and messaging me and like, you got to get on this page. And now you're setting up a rally or a march in Trenton on September 2nd. Yes?
Yes. So basically, thank you. We've been out of work since around March 15th. I remember I was working in Moneyline, bartending, and I got sent home halfway through my shift because once college basketball said that they were done, that's when the casinos started to close. So I got sent home 4 hours in, and then I got the phone call 2 days later that I would not be, we're not opening. So I'm not needed that Saturday night. So everyone within the group text at work, everyone's just sick of it. We're ready to get back to work. And finally, I'm like, maybe a couple glasses of wine the night before. I'm like, you know what? I'm starting this page. And I was expecting maybe to get 500 people total. I got 500 people in like 13 hours. And now it's up to 1,700 and just keep on going up. So
that's pretty cool. Well, it takes a lot of courage. Me and Josh were talking about it before you came on. It takes a lot of courage because you're putting yourself out there, and you might be a target where people are like, hey, stop your crybaby and, just go get another job. We talked about this on the phone yesterday, that just go get another job drives me crazy because the three of us, this is our career. It's not a job. It's not a float by, to get to next year. This is like a well-paid job that we can have nice lives and that we put a lot of effort into it. So go get another job.
Yeah, that doesn't work for us because I think we're all professionals and in customer service. Like I actually pride myself on if someone writes an email to the company saying they had excellent time with me or so. And besides that, we have benefits. We're able to make great money, provide for our families, buy homes, buy cars, donate to the community. And we're not just bartenders or servers or bussers. We're professionals, and a lot of people don't see our industry that way, which kind of stinks. But
and especially for you guys in Jersey, 80% of your industry is taken away. You don't have indoor dining. I mean, get another job. I mean, go into another field. Not anybody can just do that. You can't just change fields at, this point in your career. That's hard to do. And maybe getting another job would be a great option if 80% of your industry wasn't closed down. There is no option for you.
Exactly. And then besides that, if we did want to get another job, you have to have an education or a degree. You can't even go to school if you're on unemployment. So now you're preventing us from working. And now you're preventing us from getting an education if we want to have any type of money to survive, which is pretty sad. A lot of things.
Well, and going that route also, I mean, that's a 5-year route, which doesn't help you. I have children. I know Michael has children. I think you have an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's hard to do a 5-year commitment where you're making little or no money,
right?
and going into debt.
Hey, Cindy, how are you? Good to hear from you. Yeah, that's a lot of things too. When they say go get another job and you're going to work on a patio or outside, or even if you're a casino, we all worked at casinos or still do. It's not the same money. Like you had a good income. So if you go back and take a job and you're going to make, I don't know, half, if that, then how does that help? It's like, well, half is better than nothing. Well, if I lose my house, it's not better than what's the difference? If I lose my house working or lose my house not working, right? And there's not.
They just have to, if we're paying taxes on a certain tip rate, which we're negotiated with the government for a tip rate. If you're charging us that because you're saying that that's what we make, how are you telling us to make maybe a third of that and be okay? Like we will lose our houses because let's see, a forbearance lasts for 30 days. It's been 180 now, I believe.
You have to pay
so
it
I
all
feel
back at the end of
so
the
I have to
forbearance
pay
anyway.
it again, like, or try to go out again. No, like, we need to work so we could pay our bills. Because I'm not the only person that's like, I know so many people that are actually listing their house on the market because they can't pay it. And besides, the property taxes in New Jersey are absolutely ridiculous. It's just, it's crazy.
In New Jersey, there's a thing, especially if you work in the casinos, it's called a TIPA rate. So we make a deal with the IRS, and they come in and they say, if you claim $30 an hour, $40 an hour, $50 an hour, we will not audit you, but you have to claim this. So if you work 8 hours, whether you're doing side work or whether you're waiting on a full station, that's what you're claiming that night. So if it's, 40 hours, you're claiming that $300 a night. The IRS has said that the TIPA rate, when we open up, will drop 60%. They're going to give us a break, which is good. But what that means is they understand that we're going to lose 60% of our income when we go back to work, at least. So if you're making $1,000 a week, it's easy to do the math, right? You're going down to $400 a week. And if you've got somebody that's making $1,000 a week, 50 weeks a year, $400 a week doesn't help. What's that? Electricity and groceries, maybe. Maybe it's a car payment and insurance, and then nothing else. Nothing else.
I mean, my cable bill went up to $300 in a pandemic. Like, how did it go up this high? It's crazy.
Raking you over the coals.
Hey,
so
Sarah.
You came up with this movement, and so you're going to do the march on September 2nd?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Well,
I figured that'll be a good day, but I just heard that the governor is announcing today that they will be allowing indoor gyms to open at 25%. So I'm hoping that we're next.
Okay. What are your hopes? What do you hope to accomplish going up there? And how many people are you taking with you?
Well, so far the group has 1,700 people, but I don't know. Hopefully I get 10% of that to go up there. Sure. And I think if I have 100 people just to get out there and march and show our signs, like we just want to work. We don't want anything for free. I want to work. Both my husband and I are both in this industry. So we're really suffering because we both work at Borgata.
I'm in the same boat.
We want to work. And if you're not going to let us work, you have to. How didn't you apply for that? The extra $300 stimulus?
Yeah, well, I don't understand what that's about.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of the governors are saying that, Trump doing that bill and saying that the money comes from FEMA and it's unconstitutional. It's not legal. He doesn't have the power to do that. I don't care. Hash it out later.
You need it. You need the money.
$300 to me right now means an enormous amount. And that's $1,200 a month. It's nothing, right? And that's a week where we work, right? And it's not a week in the summer that we just all missed.
That we all miss, the best time of the year. And all of those conventions in March. I mean, we lost a lot of big conventions where there's tens of thousands of people in the city. And that March is normally a slow time, but you could get your best day on a Tuesday working a 6-hour shift. We lost all of that.
Well, that's what we do. I mean, we don't make the same amount of money every single day, right? Like if a good night might be 400, might be 150, depending on where you work, but you don't make that every single night. But what you do is, you have your key days and your key weeks and the conventions that come in. You're like, I get through November for the League of Municipalities. That's the big convent, right? So they come in
basically a month in the 3 days.
Right. So I kill it and then I can pay all my bills and then everything's fine. And we know that. We know how every month is going to be. But the summer for us is where we stash money on the side for Christmas and for January and to maybe do a vacation. So this money that everybody says, the $600, oh, my neighbor, I say it all the time on air. My neighbor says, oh, you're making that good money. And I was like, well, I'm not making the same. I'm losing money, probably 25% a week, while we're off. I'm making ends meet. And now what?
And it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah, and the $300, like to say, I watch this one guy every time in the different states come on. 26 states did it. Well, do it. I mean, we're closed. You won't open us. I don't know if this thing is so dangerous that we can't go to work and that we will die. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. A lot of people think so. A lot of people don't think so. But I told Josh the other day, I'm ready to run through like machine gun fire to go to work, right? I mean, it's either that or I got to move. So and I think a lot of people.
How are we going to move? We have no money now.
Right. Like I got to move and leave everything here in my place and be like, all right, I'm just bugging out. I'm going to, live in my parents' basement. I mean, everybody is thinking like, what's going on tomorrow? Josh and I talk a lot off air about all these things too. And like, so that kills me that the governor didn't just, it has to be politics, and I'm not taking one side or another.
I'm interested to see if it's, you said 26 states, so that's half of them basically,
Right.
that took the money. That means half of them didn't, which to me it really doesn't make sense, with what's going on. And I'd love to see which states did and didn't. I mean, if we have just talking Democratic governors versus Republican governors, I'm in Georgia. We're taking it. We have Kemp. So it might be. I don't know. That's crazy. You can't do that to your people.
And you guys are open though, correct?
My restaurant isn't. But yes, we've been open the longest. We opened first. And my wife, she bartends at a steakhouse nearby, and they opened, and she's been doing decent. It's not, they're not back 100%, but it's been better than you would expect.
Do they have to wear masks and gloves?
The not by mandate from the state, but the restaurant makes them do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they just recently totally opened up work because they had restrictions. I think it was like you couldn't have more than, believe it or not, I think it was 50 people in a room. But they've actually done away with that the last, I think, month now. So
Jessica,
the percentage is all indoor dining, like 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Were you able to share this to your page, Jessica, just so people can see it?
Okay, let me do it now.
Ashley, we're open 100% indoors.
You don't have any restrictions either. Like you'll do 15 tops, 25 top will come in, right?
No restrictions.
And customers wear masks? No. It's the Wild West down there, right?
Yeah, no, it's no customers wearing masks. Some of them might. Certain restaurants will have certain policies where I believe you might have to wear a mask if you're not sitting down at your table. But in terms of, again, state mandate, there's none.
Well, we have to wear a mask while we walk into a restaurant, walk to our table, and then take it off. Like it makes no sense to me. But I'm gonna wear the mask because I'm not gonna risk someone's business. I'm not gonna risk someone's job, even though it makes zero sense to me to wear the mask. But if you are afraid of it, the virus, that I believe in the virus. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law had it. I know about 10 people that had it. They're okay, thank God. But if you're not afraid, you have to let us work. And if you are under the CARES Act, you're covered. You don't have to work. You won't lose your job for that too.
Well, there is no CARES Act anymore.
Oh, well.
I mean, no, that ran out when our benefits ran out. That was just passed for that amount of time, I believe.
And now they're all out of session, right?
And this is what's annoying the hell out of people. I mean, they're getting paid $174,000 a year, and you have this going. You should be sequestered in a room until you come up with a deal. Not allowed to leave that room till you come up with a deal.
Yeah, it's
none of this nonsense. Taking your typical August, vacation. I hate to say, none of the three of us are taking our planned vacations. You know why? Because we're broke.
We can't.
Right.
Camping in the backyard. That's our vacation.
So, sorry if it's an inconvenience for you that you have to, figure it out and work out a deal, but get this done. Too many people are suffering.
Yeah, it's enough. Like, let us work.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing that I've been telling Josh from the beginning is if you don't let us work, that it's dangerous. Okay, I'll go along with that. Scientists say it's dangerous. We need to flatten the curve and all that. I'll drink the Kool-Aid. Pay us. Because you can't just close down. And it's like people have told me, like, hey, can you go get another job? Well, within 100 miles of me, every indoor dining room is closed. And everybody is on like 25% employees. I mean, there's a couple like beer gardens and such that do well in the summer that are doing well in the summer. That's to be expected. And there's less competition. But they're staffed and their staff is doing good. And that's where they're at because in our city, what do you figure? We got about 10,000 waiters sitting home every day, and bartenders. I would drive to Philly. Philly's closed too.
So Jessica said it before, I mean, you look at our skill set, what we do, we are customer service and we are sales. I mean, that's what we do. We combine those two things. And these are all the industries that are being hit. So it's not even like you take your skill set and what you have, it doesn't translate to anywhere else that there are a blossoming job market. It's not there for us. Sorry, it's not.
And then even like the places that are local that we know the owners, trust me, they would love to get us in, but they've had staff for 5-10 years. And then they have people that worked there before that they're going to give them a couple shifts. Like they're trying to help us out, trying to give us shifts, but there's only so much you can do. You can't fire your loyal staff.
Of course.
No, you got to take care of the people that have been taking care of them, that've been working Christmas. Just like if our restaurant opened up and we were getting a couple shifts and your boss said, hey, listen, I'm going to help out my buddy and give him 3 shifts this week. You'd be like you know, it causes a lot of conflict. But, and then too, what people don't realize is, so, okay, if they say, I'm hearing from different managers that they believe that around mid-September after Labor Day, we'll get indoor dining. Now, last time they did that, I think it was 25% capacity. So at 25%, if you're a manager, you get 25% of your budget. You get 25% of your payroll. That means 25% of your workers. So, and I know this is going to happen. The big headlines are going to be New Jersey opens indoor dining. It's all over. Everybody's great. Except the 3/4 of the employees that don't have a job or maybe just working Saturday. You know, so it's going to take a long time for us to get back to pre-COVID money where we were making in January and February. It's going to take a long time for us.
We're not getting back to pre-COVID money till there is no COVID, till we have a vaccination. I mean, it's just not happening, you know, and you're talking about the waiters that are going to be working and the staff that'll be there. There's still not going to be that demand. Because like you said before, there are people that are scared of this virus. They're not going out and spending money.
I don't know.
There'll
in this
be a lot,
area in particular,
there will be a lot of people going out. I know that. There'll be a lot of people going out, but it's not going to sustain. And then on top of that, you're going to have a bad economy. I mean, that's sure to be following in October, November. And then, you know, then even people that aren't afraid of the virus, they're going to start to be afraid to spend money because of what's going on. And corporations won't be having the big business dinners that they typically had and throwing the big Christmas parties that carry us through the winter months.
So actually, with you're calling it a rally, I thought that was a good word to use instead of, you know, protest and march. And, you know, there's a lot of bad stigma about that. So you said you want to rally. You want food workers of New Jersey, restaurant workers of New Jersey to rally in Trenton on the 2nd. That's Tuesday?
Wednesday.
On Wednesday, September 2nd in Trenton.
Yes.
So you're working with you reached out to a few companies to help out maybe with some supplies, or we have a lot of people watching. So let's ask.
Well, I've reached out to Travis from Fedway to see if, I mean, he said he would at least send out the little flyer that
Sure.
one of the women in the group, Linda, made to, you know, send it out to his bartenders and bar staff that he has on, you know, the mail out list. I'm trying to get waters and I don't know, snacks donated. Greg last night messaged me. He's going to donate 200 t-shirts or masks for
Who's
us.
Greg?
He's actually,
Greg. What's his name?
I don't know what his last name
Okay.
is, honestly.
I wanted to give him a shout out.
But he's from, he actually works with, like, he does foreclosure. So he's probably going to be making a ton of money, but all of his friends are in the industry. And he was like, I can't take it anymore. I found a guy that's willing to do t-shirts or masks for pretty cheap. And I'm like, thank you, but I can't even, Greg Ball is his name. Thanks, Ash. But I can't, love you. But I can't put out any money. Like I could go to Sam's and buy like 10 cases of water. That's about the most money I have extra to do. And it was so sweet of him to offer to donate 200 shirts for us.
So are you asking people like, hey, let's connect on your page, New Jersey food and beverage waiters, New Jersey food
and beverage workers,
right? Connect
anyone
there.
can help us to do anything. Like, I've never even been to Trenton, but I know the only place where we could do this march is in Trenton. So I'm going to take a ride today, scope out parking lots, see where we could park, where I could set up a little table station where we could sign a petition and get everyone in so we could present it. Like, I literally did this all on the fly. This is day 4, and I'm just overwhelmed with how many people are ready to do something too, because we could all talk about it, but if you don't, get your feet to the pavement, nothing's going to change.
No, it's admirable that you said, and even if it was after a couple of drinks, you were like, fuck this. I'm starting something. Everybody's talking about it. Let's go. Let's march. Enough is enough. And have you reached out to any of the TV stations? Maybe somebody can cover it and just say,
I haven't done that yet. I mean, I've sent some emails to my husband's a big Tucker fan, so he's like, sent an email to Tucker Carlson. He's like, he always has people like you on. I sent it, to the press of Atlantic City, to some of the Philadelphia stations, but no one's responded. So I have to get
if anybody has any contacts that's watching and can email or share Jessica's page or just get on it and make a comment, that would be appreciated. Help out with the rally on Wednesday. I have contacted, the gym owner that's famous in New Jersey that refused to close. I have contacted him many times. He's been on Hannity and Tucker, I think, in Fox News a lot. I would like to get his perspective on everything that he's been through. And I have a lot of.
They got the gyms opening now.
Yeah, they're opening, but unfortunately, he's been fined quite a bit. But.
Right. And then again, I have a lot of Democratic politicians coming on also. So I'm not looking to choose sides. I'm just looking for perspective and how together we can move forward. I'm not a politician in any way.
Yeah, I don't want this to be political. We want to get back to work. That is literally it. I want to work. I don't care who's going to let me work. Just let me work. I don't want to do anything illegal. We don't want to be out causing any type of drama. We just want to make money. That's all that we want.
Yeah, that bothers me too. When, that $600 and everybody had, and I've said it a lot, everybody griped about, people that were making more on unemployment and they have no incentive to go back to work. And I think, so what? I know people that would benefit from it. So what? Some guy makes an extra $200 or $300 a week for 6 months. He was probably, or she was probably the person that was going out to dinner once a week that wasn't before, supporting other restaurants or buying Amazon, supporting the economy in some way, saving up money, maybe buying a car from the car dealerships when nobody else does. So that was the
point. It was to stimulate the economy. So we didn't, so we don't go into a depression.
Hey, Beth, where are you from, Beth? You said you're a restaurant owner struggling. I know if you're a restaurant owner, you have your own income. And then you have the lives of all your employees that you're thinking about too. Are you guys at the club where you work at Premier? Are you on group texts all the time, just trying to figure stuff out?
Yeah, we have a WhatsApp and I mean, a couple people found other jobs and, are working, but still the difference is with being a Local 54 member is if we get another job, we can lose our benefits. And that's another reason, the benefits are amazing. And that would cost my family probably $1,200 a month to have something not even
exactly
close.
What it is. It's exactly
what it is. Insurance,
and it's horrible. It's horrible.
There was a lot of stuff about, unions are bad the other night on the convention. And I don't care what your opinion is, but my opinion is that there's a lot of good and bad. I've been number 1 seniority in a couple of restaurants. I've been on the bottom in a couple of restaurants, but the insurance is unbelievable.
That's always a positive is the insurance.
Right. And I pay for my insurance now and I really can't even afford to use it. I pay a big nut every month and it's there just so, if I go to the hospital, I'm not a deadbeat, but other than that, I can't go get MRIs and stuff like that. So
because we can't afford the $250 copay to go.
That's what I mean. Right. You go back to get a few tests and you're into it $1,000. But so don't 86 our industry. What do you think once we get back open in a month, in 2 months, by Christmas, by next year, where will you go forward with your page?
Well, I love how right away people were posting job postings on there. So I'd like to continue that, as if anyone could just help out other people. And, you know, I want it to be positive. I want there to be job postings. I want there to be, I don't know, maybe we could plan a bartender ball again. Like, remember those back in the day? Like, I just make it fun. And if there's any issues for anything, we could all band together again, because, you know, like a union, you're only as strong as your members. And if your members are strong, we could get anything done, as long as we're all positive and supportive of everyone.
Hey, Leah.
Hi, Leah.
Yeah, I too think this, and I take a lot of flack. I've said it on a bunch of videos before, that hospitality industry, I'll put Atlantic City waiters, busboys, bartenders up against any city in the country. And I think we come out on top. And
we're a big family. Every time there's a benefit, you know, Wonder Bar allows people to guest bartend there, to donate their tips to whether it's a kid with cancer or someone that passed away. And like, we really do band together. And, you know, that's just in Atlantic City area. There's a whole state here that we don't know the rest of these bartenders, but I'm sure they're just as tight-knit as us. I'm sure in Georgia, you guys have that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, we did when we were closed, but we're open back up, and, you know, people are back into their own lives now, their own thing. But yeah, I've been part of that community up there with you. And
Josh worked here for many years, worked in Atlantic
wow.
City with me, worked in Philadelphia, worked in casinos around the city. So that's how we know each other. And we think it's cool to get the two perspectives on Wednesday.
I actually do agree. Not only that, I think there's more talent up there than anywhere else that I've been in this country. It's just
we are pretty good.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's the industry, you know, I mean, that's what Atlantic City is, you know, it's the industry. So yeah, you're going to attract a lot of local talent, and it concentrates there, which gives you guys the power to have.
It's like, go to college or work in the casino. That's right. Kind of the choice that you get when you grow up here, because, or do another trade.
Right.
Because you could have a great career, pension, money. Like, a college degree isn't going to pay your bill. Like, money is going to pay it. But another thing about the indoor dining being closed, you know, there's no bands. So a lot of bands are out of work. DJs, there's bouncers out of work. There's, you know, even construction guys that come in to do the little side work, you know, like, so many other people are affected. The party bus companies, the limo companies, everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, produce, like Paris Produce, supplies everywhere. Like,
the entire food industry in the country.
Everything.
When you know, they were, you know, having to throw out crops because they just were specifically there to supply restaurants. You know, I mean, so yeah, it was really bad. And again, the demand still, I don't know what it is countrywide. I'll throw out a figure. I don't know how accurate it is, but let's just say restaurants are operating at like 50%. You know, that's still 50% of the demand. And that's, you know, the farmers get affected by that, and everybody that you just mentioned.
It's just a trickle down effect.
Right.
But the thing is he said that we were allowed to open July 1st? Because my husband went to go train for B-Bar, had to do a 2-hour training. A bunch of people did, actually. And, you know, then it messed up the unemployment when they said that they couldn't work for that 2 hours of training. And then all those restaurants that were expecting to be able to open had put in their huge meat orders or huge produce orders. And I mean, liquor isn't going to go bad, but like, the food goes bad. And where was they
were giving it away. Yeah, they were just giving it away. They were cooking it. They had, you know, sales. They sold it to everybody. They gave it away to everybody. That's what they did.
Ari from Tailgaters gave everything to his staff, like, and put on his page, like, if you need food, I have tons of this, tons of that, just come get it. Like,
you know, and there was a lot of generosity, and a lot of people stepped up when we were, you know, all quarantined and closed down, even down here. I know my wife's restaurant, you know, they allowed us to buy their purveyors stuff at cost, you know, so if you wanted to get great steaks or crab, I think we got, you know, lump crab meat for $11 as opposed to going to the store and paying $24 for it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So there was a lot of looking out and generosity, but that didn't last as long as you would want it to for people that, like us, that are still to this day suffering. You know, that was great for, you know, the 6 weeks back then, but there's still a lot of people suffering.
And then there's like another, like a pride aspect, because we've always been able to work. Like, I don't want to have to accept something for free, but eventually, like, if we're not going to get money and we're not working, like, I guess I'm going to have to. Like, if we lose our benefits, what is our option? Like, how do we get state benefits? Like, I have an 8-year-old; she needs to have benefits.
Right.
Well,
And
I also think too,
it's
it's dignity, and it's, like, you might be making choices today that you haven't ever made in your life. And you might be, I know friends of mine that have been in the food line, and the food lines here in Atlantic City have been like 2 miles long, right? And friends of mine that have worked, have homes, supported their kids and lived with dignity, and they're in the food line getting a box of food. I'm not putting anybody down for that. I'm saying that if you're in that position and you're in that food line, you don't have a lot of pride.
It's a harsh reality. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a hard reality.
And I don't think, like, Tammy Murphy's out there handing out onions and bananas at the local 54 and Community Food Bank of New Jersey Drive. And, like, you're going out to fine dining every single night. Like, get some perspective. Like, you're here, you're handing out food. Thank you. But I don't know.
No, it's multifaceted. There's definitely the dignity aspect of it. We just had at my house, my wife and I invited our neighbors over. We did a little game night, and like everybody says, "Oh, you're back at work, right?" And I'm like, "No, not yet. I've been out of work for, what are we going on, like 5.5, 6 months now." It's kind of embarrassing. And then for us personally, there's the dignity to work, but then there's also that practical structure that going to work puts in your day and how you plan out your day. And, being at home for that extra like 10 hours where you're typically, you're getting ready for work, you start your commute, you get to work, you put in your, 6 to 8 hours, you get your, drive home, you say your goodbyes, you're back home 10 hours. You're just spend that 10 hours nonstop at home. There is not that structure you have in your day, and you can't plan out your life as well.
The mental illness aspect of it is just bad. Like, so many people that never had any type of mental illness are now so depressed. They have anxiety all the time because you don't know what's going to happen. The effect on children, not being able to be around other children. Like, I have an only child. I feel terrible for this. Like, why couldn't I have twins like my dad and my brothers?
Right.
So how about a shout out to Christine? She said,
Thanks,
you're doing a great job, and she sent you some money for some water for your rally. That's nice, Christine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Christine.
Beth is in Hamilton, and she said, 36 years down to 3 months, and she wouldn't serve Murphy. I can understand the anger. Listen, I'm angry too, and I'm like,
no, I want to serve him, and I want to give him impeccable service. So just to basically say, can I curse? Fuck you.
I just
out of work, and you could have had this excellent service this whole time.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, on his point of view, maybe he thinks what he's doing right, but not taking the FEMA money. You can't do both. Like Mike said, hey, if you're going to tell me to stay home, pay me. And this is just a rare instance where he's actually gets to make this decision. And I mean, what is he not taking for? Is that partisan? Is it pride? What is that? You can sit there and take a moral standing, but you have people suffering that you're not letting them go to work. It's ridiculous. You can't do both things.
I was talking to my husband the other night, and he was like, how does he sleep at night? And I'm like, I swear he probably thinks, like, I flattened the curve. No more people are dying. I did a great job. Like, that he doesn't see the effects of this, of people not getting the virus and not. Trust me, I don't want to get sick. I'm afraid of it too.
Yeah. But
I'm more afraid of losing my house, having to go on welfare, having to move back to my mother's house. Like, I am a 34-year-old woman. I don't want to do this. That's what I'm more afraid of. It's like, bug spray. It's not good for you, but the after effects of a mosquito bite where you could get a virus is worse. So it's like, what's worse? To pick the lesser of two evils.
Well, I also think, we're talking about your governor, there's, I don't care what you say, there's like a distance factor there. Like, I think a lot of us have learned through this is that we become much more in touch with other people's problems. And, through that, you do garner compassion. And, he's governing, like you say, how does he sleep at night? I mean, they're just reading statistics and stuff like that. Most of them aren't out in it. He's not in Atlantic City he's not listening to this show.
That's why I want to put it right in his face. I want him to see us. That's why I organize this. I want him to see us. I want him to see us suffering. I almost want to throw all of my bills at him that are just piling up because you're not letting me work. And being a casino worker, we're lucky. Like, we're lucky because we got paid by our companies. We have insurance until I don't know if it's September 31st or October 31st, but other people, there's more than local 54 bartenders and servers and food and beverage in this state. And they were making $2 an hour. So what's their unemployment? 98 bucks a week? Like, we're at least lucky we had that tip agreement. So I feel bad for the rest of the people in the state that aren't getting as much as we are.
Hey, Lou, how are you? Good to hear from you. The squeaky wheel does get the grease, and that's what we're trying to do.
I need that butterscotch cheesecake.
You need to be seen and heard. I think that, and why I started Waiter Nation years ago and starting to put a spotlight on waiters in our industry is that I believe that we're all professionals, that this is a career choice, that and I have a lot of pride in what I do, and so does everybody else. I think the general perception is that it's a low talent, low skill, low paid job. Just go get another one. And you know what? Like, if they're not going out to be a busboy, like me and Josh have worked in, celebrity chefs, and I've worked for a lot of, high-end places. I can, for a guy, and I've worked with a lot of people like that. So are you. You're working in one of the best nightclubs on the East Coast right now, right? To go out and get a job as a bus person, to go out and get a job as a diner waiter, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because I served breakfast right before COVID. I was in a breakfast restaurant and a dinner restaurant.
But we were just have a standard that we're used to.
Right. But I'm saying, like, it's such a hit on your pride to go to a job that you never thought you'd have to do. And like you said, it's the entire industry, and then when you do go back to work, Atlantic City is a big seniority town, right? So if you are top third in seniority, if you have 15 people, top 5 are working. From 6 to 10, they're going to get shifts. And from 11 to 15, don't go back to work for a long time. And our
I'm 33 out of 37, I believe. Thank God we have a 2-year recall, but I'm not going back to work this year.
Right.
I'm not. I know. Not at Brigada anyway.
And a 2-year recall means that if you're in the union, you have the right to that room if you're laid off for 2 years. So before they hire somebody from outside, they have to call give their
hire anyone else
a chance. Right. So this is lasting. And the casinos themselves, I mean, Brigada's in good financial position. Caesars was just bought, so they're in good, like some of the casinos that aren't, I don't know. Josh and I worked at Revel. Revel fucking closed. The whole goddamn building
American
closed.
Cut?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I work at Royal Jelly over there.
Okay. I work at American Cut again.
American Cut. Oh,
I work at American Cut again. Josh works at American Cut in Georgia.
Oh, great.
So we're
Anthony DePaul was your manager over there, right?
Yeah. He's at the Chop House.
My manager at B-Bar.
Talk from once in a while. Yeah. But I think that what you're doing is great because you are putting a spotlight on us and saying, hey, and you're not doing it in a way that complains. And I never wanted to do my show or my page. Like, everybody can complain about bad tips, bad customers, the Karens, the everything else, right? But you're not doing it like that. You're saying, listen, we're professionals and we need some help. We need you to figure this shit out. We need you to put us back to work. We need you to, pay us some compensation in the meantime and get us through all this mess. And I applaud you for that because it's very easy to hashtag FU governor or, whatever.
Oh, no, to do what you're doing. Yeah, that's amazing. Let me ask you a question. Are you going to be wearing masks when you do your rally?
We're going to have to, because if we have to work wearing masks, I think we should show up as the professionals we are and wear the masks because... So
you don't come off as a couple of yahoos.
No, I don't want to cause any trouble. I want to make a wave, but I don't want to cause a tsunami and cause a lot of damage. We need to do the right thing because we want to work. I don't care if you put me in a hazmat suit and a corset because I work in the nightclub, but
right. Do what you got to do.
But I want to work. My husband needs to work. just in this household, like we need one of us needs to work.
Right.
Just for your sanity too, right? It's like, you're waking up and you're like, oh, I always
supposed to spend 24 hours a day with another person. Like, it is crazy.
Regardless, Chris Crean, yeah. What does everybody else do? Right, because 2/3 of us aren't going back to work. Hey, Romeo, September 1st, the gym's at 25%, New Jersey. That's a start. Lou, passionate. Thanks, Jess. That's from Ari. Yeah, Ari, from what I see, and I'm just looking at the postings, and when I drive by, you're doing a nice job under the tent over there, and I wish you well.
Thanks.
Anna and Lisa.
That's my mother. Now,
okay.
my mother is actually a union rep for the New York State Nurses Association.
Mm-hmm.
So she has had me out, protesting and rallying since she started her career in unions when I was like 8. So in the Teamsters office, there was a photo of me right behind the rat with a big sign. So my mom's going to help a lot out with the rally too.
Well, she said you're making good trouble, and I like the way that sounds. Yeah, you're making trouble, but you're making good trouble. You're doing it in a positive way. You're putting a positive light on all of us. I can tell you, last week, or when you started this page, I got like 3 or 4 texts. I got a message. Yesterday, I woke up in the morning. My buddy Fabian, shout out to Fabian. He said, listen, you got to get Jessica on the show. I know a lot of people are interested. She's doing some great stuff. If anybody is out there and can lend a hand to Jessica in any way, contact her through her page, the New Jersey Food and Beverage Workers, and just, hey, if it's just to say, great, you're doing a great job, that can go a long way, because I know, Josh, you and I, like, if we get one private message during the week and said, hey, the show was great, I enjoyed it, that'll keep us going for the next week.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be like, all right, we got to one person and we get to another person. Listen, when you were...
I actually want people to get out there with me. You need to help me.
I wish I wasn't 1,100 miles away. I would definitely
I know you'd have to be quarantined for 2 weeks too, but you need to get out there. Bring your kids, bring your families, bring your friends. Make a sign. Let us work. Don't 86 our industry. That's what I need the help with. I just started the page. I'm only as strong as you guys. You have to be out there with me.
Jessica, it's Wednesday that you're going to be out there. What time are you going, and what time do you think you'll get together? What time do you want to meet in Trenton?
Obviously, I'm just started this, so I have to go up and scope out an actual area. I sort of jumped ahead of myself because I should.
Well, what I would like to do is, and if I can, I don't know my plans tomorrow, right? Because we're all scrambling. But what I would like to do is next Wednesday, and maybe if me and Josh come on later, maybe if you're up there at noon, you can come in with your phone to my channel here.
Okay.
And we can talk to other people that are with you.
Oh, great.
And you can give shout outs to people that helped you, and then anybody can support you. If they're not able to be there with you, you can feel their strength, that they can say, keep going. Congratulations. And it's real easy to do with the software that I use here. And I think a lot of people that can't go would be very interested to see. And whether you have 10 people or whether you have 1,000 people, it's something to be very proud of.
Thank you.
Hey, Anthony, how are you?
Thanks, Tony. And he's a painter, in the union. So they're not also not working because they're not painting in there. They're not the electricians. They're not changing lights because they're not. Nobody's working. We have to open.
Doing an awesome job. I mean, that feels good because you don't know when you put yourself out there and you think to yourself, and I get the haters every once in a while. I get a private message of some jerk that says, shut up and stuff like that. And, I just block them. I don't go into arguments or anything else, but that's why we do it.
But if anyone can help, I need help with finding a lot big enough for us to park in. I need maybe some tables. I need waters. We all need to wear masks. I need anything, bring your kids recorders, those stupid flutes to make noise. Like, we have to make noise. And I don't know much about Trenton. I've never marched on a Capitol before, but we need to make him heard. If anyone could actually compose a petition for us all to sign so we could present it to him, I would be really, what's that say? I think you can.
We can drive ourselves to the rally.
Definitely you could drive yourself to the rally. But, I want this to be presentable, and I want them to hear us. So I need help. We all need help, and we need to get him to let us go back to work. And that's
Come on, guys, get together. Help Jessica. Help yourselves.
It's a great thing. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody watching every week, because the first week I did this, I said, yeah, I probably won't do it again. And I think tomorrow with Sheriff Eric will be my 40th show. So that's awesome. Jessica, congratulations and thanks on everything. Let's stay in touch this week. If I can help you in any way, sharing on my social media to share a message to something that you're asking for to help coordinate. And I would love to get you live next week on location and talk to you, talk to other people that were there, and, fire everybody up. Hopefully we'll hear some good news by then, but keep going. Good luck. And thank you so much for coming on today.
Definitely come back on afterwards as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice talking to you, Josh. Thanks, guys.
It was all our pleasure. Hold on for a second, Jessica. And everybody that's watching out there and that commented in and that have restaurants in our industry, man, I'm with you. And I wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you soon. We'll talk more, and I can't wait to wait on y'all.